any Hispanic in this county.
The Miami Herald's daily circulation is nearly 450,000. El Nuevo Herald circulation is about 90,000. C-SPAN wants to hear your comments about our programming. If you'd like to call us, our number here in Washington is area code 202-626-7963. It's a voicemail system, so after the recording, please press the pound sign and the number 2 on your touch-tone phone. Make sure to leave your name and the state you're calling from. Each day, your comments will be forwarded to our programming department.
Next to the White House for a briefing on the agreement to sell American-made planes to Saudi Arabia. The $6 billion deal is for 50 planes to be manufactured by McDonnell Douglas and Boeing, with engines for the jets made by GE and Pratt & Whitney. Among those we'll hear from, President Clinton and Saudi Crown Prince Bandar. We hear first from Commerce Secretary Ron Brown. The program runs a little more than 20 minutes.
Good morning. This is a wonderful day for American business and industry, a wonderful day for American workers. And it has come about because of extraordinary presidential leadership and the forming of a real partnership between the Clinton administration and the American private sector. It's a partnership that understands that American exports equal American jobs. Through the leadership of President Clinton, we've finally broken out of the shackles that have caused a several-decade debate about the role of government. Our international competitors figured out that role a long time ago, and that's why they're doing much better than they should be doing in international competition, and we are not doing as well as we should be doing. But this is a new day that recognizes that it is the private sector that creates an environment for sustained economic growth and the creation of high-wage, high-quality jobs for our people. But that comes about when government stands shoulder to shoulder with American business and industry, not only to help them compete, but to win in this global marketplace. The President has instructed us to develop a national export strategy, which we have. He's instructed us to really stand shoulder to shoulder with American business and industry, which we have. The bottom line is this is good for American workers, good for American business, and good for our country. And we have gotten there because President Bill Clinton has been such an extraordinary leader in opening up new doors and breaking down old barriers. It is my honor and pleasure to introduce the President of the United States.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much, Secretary Brown. And ladies and gentlemen, in this Olympic season, we come here today to announce a gold medal win for America's businesses and workers. Last year, the government of Saudi Arabia decided to find replacement aircraft for its civilian fleet of approximately 50 airplanes. Today, the Saudi ambassador, Prince Bandar, has officially informed me that King Fahd has decided to purchase the entire replacement fleet from American companies, from Boeing and McDonnell Douglas. The purchase will be financed by the United States Export-Import Bank. It will total almost $6 billion and will support tens of thousands of American jobs in Washington, California, Kansas, Missouri, Utah, Arkansas, and several other states. The purchase is a vote of confidence in American quality, American workers, and the competitiveness of our exports. As Secretary Brown said, it underlines the efforts that we have made from NAFTA to GATT to the APEC conference to our national export strategy and lifting export controls on many products which for many years could not be sold abroad, to expand our markets, to reduce trade barriers, to create good, high-paying jobs in America in a thriving and open world economy. It proves again that we can compete. We don't have to retreat. The United States and Saudi Arabia have long enjoyed close relations. We have especially strong commercial relations in the field of civil aviation. With today's announcement, this proud tradition will continue well into the next century. Close economic ties complement the important political and strategic relationship that we have and that we value greatly with Saudi Arabia. Let me note that I have already spoken directly with many members of Congress and governors and other state and local officials whose constituents will benefit from this sale. The message I gave them is simple. We worked hard on this, and we will continue to work hard in home and abroad to help our people thrive in the global economy. In closing, let me thank especially King Fahd, Prince Bandar, and the government of Saudi Arabia for this decision. Secretaries Brown, Christopher, and Pena, Tony Lake, and others in the White House, including Bob Rubin and Mr. McClarty, all of whom had some role in this. We all spent a lot of time over a long period on this. The sustained effort that was done is another product of the teamwork that we try to practice in our administration. Secretaries Brown, Christopher, and Pena all personally traveled to Riyadh in part to emphasize the importance of this sale to our country, and I thank them especially for that. Let me also offer my congratulations to the management and to the employees of Boeing and McDonnell Douglas. Your hard work really made this possible. We just tried to bring it to the surface. America should be proud of this day, and I hope this day will lead us to many others like it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just now, ladies and gentlemen, I had the honor and distinct pleasure to give President Clinton a letter from King Fahd informing him of our decision to start negotiating the purchase of a substantial number of aircraft for our national airline. I am also carrying letters to the chairmen of Boeing and McDonnell Douglas inviting them to send representatives to Saudi Arabia to start negotiations next month, about the 20th of March. The reason is 20th of March because that's after our holy month ending. The Saudi-U.S. relationship has been very strong ever since King Abdulaziz and President Roosevelt met during World War II. It has grown steadily stronger ever since. It has been supported by every American president since President Roosevelt. This truly can be called a bipartisan policy. The relationship has long been based on two principles: mutual interest and mutual respect. King Fahd believes, especially since the end of the Cold War, that two additional principles should be added to those previous two. One, genuine burden sharing, and two, fair two-way trade. The United States has long been carrying a heavy military and economic burden around the world, notably in Europe, the Far East, Africa, and yes, also in the Middle East. Events in Bosnia and in the Middle East are still further proofs that American leadership is indispensable. In their exasperate moments, the American people understandably wonder why heavy lifting is theirs to do, but it has been so through most of this century. We believe it is your destiny to be the only superpower in the world, and truly, you are the only game in town at the moment. But, Mr. President, the American people also have every right to insist on a fairer system of burden sharing in security and economic terms, and a fairer way of trade. As your friend, and as has been proven time and time again, Saudi Arabia is determined to be a strategic asset and not a strategic liability. That is the way we believe all your friends should be. Mr. President, it is not a tough decision at all to buy American, for American products are superior. That tells a lot about the American people, and especially the high productivity and quality of the American workers. King Fahd is pleased to join with you in this undertaking. He looks forward to working with you in this and many other endeavors for the benefits of both of our peoples and for the prosperity and progress of both of our countries and for peace and stability worldwide. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador, Mr. President, distinguished guests. I thought perhaps that before I started, I should point out to some of you that might have an interest that these are not exactly to scale. Boeing has been extremely pleased with our long and good relationship with Saudi Arabian Airlines and with the government of Saudi Arabia, and we're simply delighted that this opportunity affords us a chance to continue that relationship in the future. We are proud of our products, but we're equally proud that our airplanes fly in the colors of Saudia, which is certainly a leading airline in the world and the largest airline in the Middle East. It's very important to us. And I'd like to thank you and your administration, Mr. President, for helping to communicate to our customers the importance of this transaction and our hope that the decision would be made on the basis of product merit. The transaction, as the President acknowledged, is going to mean tens of thousands of American jobs and certainly going to help stabilize the employment levels at McDonnell Douglas and Boeing at what is a very critical time for both of us. Certainly it will also significantly help our balance of trade in the years ahead, and that's not unimportant. Mr. Ambassador, on behalf of all our employees and the thousands of suppliers across this country, we thank you, your airline, and your government for the continued confidence that this order reflects in Boeing and in our products. And again, we thank you, Mr. President, and your administration for the critical role that you played in helping to make possible this very happy occasion. Thank you.
This is a great day for McDonnell Douglas, and it's a grand day for the U.S. aerospace industry. After an exhaustive 2-year evaluation of the world's most advanced aircraft, the decision has been made to select American products built by American workers. For that decision, I want to thank His Majesty King Fahd, His Royal Highness Prince Bandar, and of course Saudi Arabian Airlines. We also deeply appreciate President Clinton's leadership in securing this sale. So I want to thank the President and his entire team, including Secretaries Christopher, Pena, and Brown, for their tremendous efforts on behalf of American companies and American workers. Today's announcement is the culmination of what we can accomplish as a nation, as an industry, and as builders of high-technology commercial aircraft, and that is to compete in the global marketplace and win. This victory reflects what we can accomplish as a nation if we pull together as a team with the support of an energetic administration to achieve 3 critical objectives: sales for American companies, exports of U.S. products to our friends around the world, and jobs for Americans. The sale of McDonnell Douglas jetliners will convert directly into tens of thousands of aerospace jobs, jobs primarily in Southern California, but also throughout the United States, including, Mr. President, the great state of Arkansas. In addition, about twice as many non-aerospace jobs will also be assured by this sale. On behalf of the dedicated McDonnell Douglas workers, I want to again thank you, Mr. President, for your leadership, enthusiasm, and single-minded determination. And to you, Ambassador Bandar, for your strong support for buying only the best.
Mr. President, Mr. Ambassador, truly this is a great day both for America, Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia today marks the announcement of a contract that will give that nation the very best of global economy can produce. The finest aircraft made in the world by the highest skilled and most productive workers of the world. For the United States and its high-skilled workforce, this contract of some $6 billion means saving jobs, high-wage, high-skilled jobs, high-tech jobs. Mr. President, on behalf of the nation's working men and women, I want to commend you, your cabinet and staff, for your efforts, not only for McDonnell Douglas or Boeing Company, not just for the employees, but for taking a giant step towards the preservation of this nation's industrial and manufacturing base, ensuring that thousands of creative, high-skilled workers, union and non-union alike, are not dumped on the human scrap heap. This announcement marks the commitment you made during your meeting with me and leaders of the aerospace and aircraft industry in Seattle just about a year ago. I remember your commitment, and your efforts have demonstrated that you remembered. Our members, and 4 of them are here from St. Louis and Seattle, representing workers at McDonnell Douglas and Boeing at those facilities. Our members ask that I leave you with this message. Mr. President, we voted for you because of your commitment to invest in us and in America. And on behalf of ourselves and our families and America, we thank you.
Mr. President, being last means you become repetitive, but this is a day when we should become repetitive. And to you and the distinguished guests, your cabinet, I'm Carolyn Forrest, and I'm Vice President of the UAW and Director of the UAW Aerospace Department. On behalf of the UAW West Coast Regional Director of UAW, Bruce Lee, our members at McDonnell Douglas, including the President of Local 148, Doug Griffiths, and the proud union workers and all workers everywhere, we thank you for this agreement. It's a tribute to the high quality of work we do and the joint programs that we promote to get that quality. This agreement is proof of your commitment, Mr. President, to support good jobs for the workers who create prosperity in communities all across the country. It's one thing to talk about high-skill, high-wage manufacturing jobs, but this agreement delivers them, and that is welcome news for all America. This agreement is also a step toward securing the peace that is necessary to the good life of people all over the world. I assure the President and the Ambassador and your cabinet and all those who are listening that our members will fulfill this contract with pride and enthusiasm, and we appreciate this opportunity. Thank you.
Mr. President, it's been reported that you personally called on King Fahd to buy American-made aircraft. I'm wondering if this means that you'll be taking a much more active role in drumming up business for the U.S. firms. For instance, in Vietnam, since you've recently lifted a trade embargo there, might you encourage leaders in that country to purchase U.S. aircraft?
It depends on what the facts are in any case. I think you can say, first of all, that the Secretary of Commerce has showed an historic level of activism, not only in this area but in many others. The Secretary of State has done a remarkable job in a short period of time in changing the culture of many of our embassies and getting them in country after country after country much more involved in trying to promote commercial activities and working with the Commerce Department and others. The Secretary of Transportation has, I think, focused on the global aspects of his job more than any of his predecessors that I can think of. So I think what you can say is that this administration will be aggressively involved in this kind of endeavor. When I think it is appropriate and potentially helpful, I don't mind asking for the business. But I think it's something that I don't want to lay down a general rule of thumb on, because I think it will have to be taken on a case-by-case basis.
Mr. President, are you still contemplating more sanctions against Japan, or can you rule that out for now?
Well, ever since the talks I had with Prime Minister Hosokawa, we've been reviewing our options, consulting with our friends, trying to assess what course we ought to take. And I think sometime in the next few days, my economic team, Mr. Rubin is here, and our national security team will come back with a set of options and recommendations to me, and then I'll have something to say about that. That is different from